Reddit Am I the A-hole, where we read Redditors' stories and decide whether they are actually the a-hole or just misunderstood. Am I the a-hole for telling my son's African American girlfriend that she can wear a wig even if my son doesn't want her to? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what this is about. Let's get into the context. I'm 37F, a white woman, out of my depth on this concept and too scared to ask anyone who is African American face to face. My son, who is 14M, his first girlfriend is an African American girl, 13F, who we'll call Nina. Usually when I see her, she's a bubbly social butterfly. She smiles a lot and is very talkative. Recently, I noticed Nina seeming less confident the times I see her. Her change in demeanor was the most noticeable change, but I also noticed the recent lack of wig, makeup and jewelry. I didn't even realize the two things were connected. One day, I was to drive them to a party. My son was upstairs and Nina was downstairs. She looked like she was dreading going to this party, and I asked her what's wrong. She said she doesn't feel pretty. I asked her why, and she said she is still getting used to showing her natural hair. I asked if she feels uncomfortable showing her hair. If she feels uncomfortable showing her hair, why is she doing it? She said my son thinks she looks cooler this way. Oh, okay, I see where this is going. I told her I used to do things just to impress the boys when I was her age. I told her she can wear a wig even if my son doesn't want her to. Days later, I have never seen my son more angry with me than that day. He said I'm a white woman and I shouldn't be advising a black girl how to look. He called me an overbearing mom and a Karen. I was too shocked to speak as I've never seen him so angry. Am I the a-hole? I am going to say not an a-hole. Because it wasn't like she was giving unasked advice, right? It wasn't an unsolicited advice. So it wasn't like she was saying your hair is ugly, cover it up with a wig or something like that. On the other hand, the girl, the Nina, the 13 female, she said she feels uncomfortable in her hair and she is just doing it because her boyfriend thinks it's cool. So I don't think the OP is an a-hole, but I feel like the son could have asked her about how she feels once. I'm not sure if he did, and then continued to ask her to be more confident in her own hair, which not wrong. Like, everyone should be comfortable in their own skin, but if it is affecting her confidence, I'm not sure if it's a very good idea. So I'm going to put the woman, the OP, in not the a-hole category, and we'll see what the other commenters have got to say. This is what I'm thinking. A little delusional, but maybe his heart is not in the wrong place. Like, he made a comment and didn't really ask her, you know? Yeah, I see that. There's another comment that says, I think he thinks he's being supportive, which I can totally see that, him wanting his girlfriend to be confident in her own hair. But maybe he didn't, again, like, read into the lines about how she was feeling. But yeah, I guess if they just communicate better, I think it would be good. So OP is not the a-hole, and we can move on to the next story. Story number 2. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to give me my money back after her husband made fun of my wife's scars? Oh no, no. I mean, for the wife's scars, not for asking the money back. Okay, so let's say it's an update for those who don't want to read my previous post, like me. My wife has some small self-harm scars from her childhood, and my brother-in-law insulted my wife and asked her to cover them up. And when I couldn't tolerate the disrespect, I asked him to give me the money I lent him for his surgery and healthcare. After my brother-in-law insulted my wife and asked her to cover the scars, I wanted him to pay me back my money as soon as possible. My bill and my sister, so the bill is brother-in-law. My brother-in-law and my sister said they'll give me back the money in 3 months, and it's been a year and they still didn't. Okay. My wife told me today that my brother-in-law called and he apologized to her, so I shouldn't ask for money because they can't afford it and I should forgive them. I told my wife that he's taking advantage of your kindness and he apologized to you because he can't afford to pay and he insulted you in front of everyone and we deserve a public apology. And my wife said that she has forgiven him and doesn't want the money back and they need that money more than us. I told her to stay away from this and let me do my thing. I will ask them again and again until they pay, but my wife said she doesn't want to. And I shouldn't either, and I should be the bigger person after brother-in-law apologized and she's forgiven him back. Actually, I don't care if I get my money back. I'm just using it to get back at him. I want to humiliate him just like he humiliated my wife in front of our family. But my wife doesn't want that. So am I the a-hole if I ask for my money and go behind my wife's back? Oh, okay. Okay. So we can look at it from so many perspectives. Coming from the perspective of the guy, whose wife, the OP. Coming from the OP's perspective, I feel like it's fair for him to ask for the money back because it's anyways his money. And the fact that the brother-in-law, delayed it for a whole year and doesn't seem to be interested in returning back, that's a huge red flag. But I also somehow feel like the OP is making it about himself. Maybe the wife doesn't want to talk about her scars anymore. So she's like, stop this topic right now, don't drag it anymore. But the OP is like, no, I got insulted. Like, I don't think it's about his wife getting insulted anymore. For some reason, I feel like he's making it about him being insulted in public. So, okay, he's not the a-hole to, okay, the question is, so am I the a-hole to ask my money and go behind my wife's back? Asking money, not the a-hole. Going behind your wife's back, I feel like it could hurt her more. Maybe she just doesn't want to, maybe she wants to put the whole incident behind her because she's still scarred from it, No pun intended. She's still scarred from it. And I don't think he's supposed to be dragging it out. We'll see what the commenters have got to say. Okay, so one commenter says they should pay you back because you let them borrow from the kindness of your heart. I totally get where you're coming from, but the family drama is probably stressing your wife out. Exactly. I think her mental health or happiness is more priority than humiliation. The humiliation could also make her feel guilty even though it's not her doing, but technically it's because of her. Love that you're defending her though. Yep. OP is a cool person for standing up for his wife. Another commenter says, yep, he should focus on his wife's peace over revenge, no matter how tempting it is to get even. There's another commenter saying, there's two avenues of thought here. While your wife has forgiven him, you don't have to, and are well within your right to do so. Or second, is this situation worth putting you at odds with your wife? You could just let it go to appease your wife and then keep him at arm's length and low contact from now on. I think we can do that too. I think that would be, going low contact would be nicer for the wife's peace too. So yeah. Okay, then I'll see you in the next one. Bye.